And along with me liking money, apparently other people do too.
Though I know I should be wary, still I venture someplace scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose. Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!
Welcome, everyone, to our continuing series on modern memetic theory. Today, we shall be looking at the Financial Memetic Tensor. What the heck is this? So apparently, as we've discussed before, a memetic tensor is, as in a tensor network. Again, I am not a physicist, a scientist. I am some dude on the internet that likes learning about things. But essentially, a tensor is a causal relationship between two distinct things. So perhaps it's between two celestial bodies. The Earth, the Moon. Oh, I'd say there's probably a gravitational tensor there. Something that, in some cases, perhaps we can quantify. In other cases, as for memetics, I'm not quite sure we could do that. And we probably also still run into the measurement problem, as COE would say. Yes, but today, let's talk about this particular thing. And I'm going to utilize the framework of, at least personally, my 5 tenets of humanity. What are my 5 tenets of humanity? 1, we're all more similar than we are different. 2, we do each have our own unique life experience. 3, I personally think most folks are good people. I could be wrong about that, but that's my general lived experience. 4, people, just because you're a good person don't mean you don't do stupid shit. 5, folks tend to act in their own self-interest. I think that explains a lot. Working within that framework, why do people do different things? It's like, all right, well, you can make money. You can make a living. Often that is necessary to do things. I've been extremely blessed in my life. I'm a literal trust fund child. It's like, I've never really had to worry about actually going out there and be like, oh my God, I'm not going to have a place I can crash. Maybe in another country. I mean, I passed out one night over in, where were we? Montreal or something like that. It's all right. Some dude watched over me. I was fine. They got Chinese food. We drank too much Parrot Bay out in the park. God rest Squatty's soul. Now, as far as any of this goes, different folks need to do different things to survive. Is it necessarily always an honest thing? No. Have I lied by omission at times? Absolutely. Why? Because I wasn't confident in myself. Because I wasn't sure if I could actually do the thing. So I figured, rather than doing something that may cost me something, I will omit this. If I apply that and extrapolate it to other folks in extremely difficult situations, this is going to start to make sense. Now, the other thing that you notice, especially on different platforms, once you happen to amass a certain level, if you happen to join a particular partner program, an affiliateship, this, that, or even get different advertisements, things for your channel, stuff. I've had some of those things. I don't really think some of those things were real, and it seemed more targeted towards children. So I'm like, yeah, my channel isn't targeted towards children. Now, that in mind, it's like, okay, everybody likes money, but at the same time, what is the causal relationship between different folks as well? Hey there, LDG. Welcome, my friend. Welcome, my friend. And the thing is with this, if you're looking at the relationship, it's like, all right, well, depending on the situation, if everybody's watching them, it's like back in The Simpsons. Marge Simpson, she ate 2 grapes. She goes, at least it's like, she's like, charge me for 2 grapes. It's like, I don't have the price there. It's like, oh, price check on 2 grapes, price check on 2 grapes. Now, that was an honest thing to do. It probably actually held up other folks in that grocery store and everything. However, it was honest. And honesty and truth, I believe, as long as you're going down that road, I think you got a pretty solid foundation. Now, one of the things you kind of notice is once money becomes involved, people seems to change. I'll be straight up. I didn't even have a Patreon for a while. Shout out to my patrons, Joe Franco and Dave M. This broadcast is helped made possible by viewers like you. But the thing is, with all of this, it's like, all right, you have a situation. Money starts going your way. Well, what happens? It's like, all right, we're monetized. All right. Now, me personally, I happen to have never canceled my YouTube Red thing. So anything I watch, technically somebody is earning something. And even Sargon back like a couple of years ago was like, oh, 30% of my money is from like YouTube Red or whatever. It's like, it's kind of a throwaway statement. I'm like, oh, a third of a dude's earnings at the time was, like 60 to 8,000 pounds or something like that. This is from like a V stream or something or the other. It's like, oh, it seems to be actually fairly large amounts. Like everyone's always focused on advertisers. It's like you do realize the solution to a lot of this stuff is just okay. If somebody's consuming your content, it shouldn't you get compensated? Like, isn't that the way it's supposed to work? I don't know. Exactly, Dave. That's the thing. Nobody would ever do that on the internet. Oh, that's another reason too. Because we all know that nobody.
Just go on the internet and tell lies?
That would be terrible. Oh, I had to break that up because if you don't do that, if you're playing a whole bunch of children's content, you can't get away with saying, oh, it's not for children. It's not a 2 to 3 second clip here or there out of the entirety. In my mind, that seems fine. And again, I am not a lawyer. It's my father, Mr. Muse. He's retired. He's having a good time down in Florida. He's actually kind of got like a rabbi beard going on. But as far as this, it's when you think about that, it's even like, all right, I get some money. I'm like, oh, I start thinking about these things. I'm like, that $20-something a month. It's like, that ain't gonna make or break me. But it's like, wait a second, what happens if that was on scale? What happens if all of a sudden you have 1,000? What happens if like that is literally your life? You're trying to scrape by. It's like every single super chat, this, that, bit, byte, whatever it is, gold, whatever. Hey, also my connections to the adult entertainment industry. There ain't nothing wrong with making an honest living. But just with all of that, it's like, all right, well, that's fine. Now, just be honest about it. That's my big thing. People, you might not agree with what another person's doing, what another person's saying, but if you're going to have the core of, all right, you're doing something honest, you're being direct. I might not agree with it, but it's like as long as you're being honest and open about it. And that's the problem, because especially just with everything that's going on, it's like, all right, I very often I just enter some places like, hey guys, what's going on? Yes, I realize maybe that's partially sexist. If I happen to see mostly what appears to be presenting ladies there, I'll say, hey ladies, what's going on? I just go with whatever. I could say, hey folks, but I don't know. I feel like that's more of a British thing. I like using the terminology, but it bothers me. But the thing is, it's so much with you see something on social media, you hear something, somebody's outraged about something. Well,
How do you know if any of this stuff is true?
these are good questions. And I think this is from a PBS show. It's you grow up doing this, and it's like rather than pause, so many of these situations on the internet, it's like, all right, somebody starts getting angry about this. Well, why? You could just start to argue back, or you could utilize the Socratic method, as Arthur demonstrates here.
How do you know someone didn't just make it up?
I mean, that would change everything, right? All of a sudden, it's like your entire world goes out from under you. And I think, unfortunately, again, I realize I did this in a very spastic way. We come back around to the financial tensor. What's been the business model that's made money over these, probably pretty much the past half decade? Outrage. Just getting people angry, getting people all fired up. Why? I love getting angry. That's the thing. Even Ren and Stimpy. Oh, I need to get that clip from Ren and Stimpy. It's like, I'm so angry. I love being angry. It's like, oh God, I think the entire world just clicked for me right there. All I know is, I think this explains a lot. We've gotten to the point where we've come full circle. We say, can you believe the horrible things that these people are doing? Why? Because we don't like those people. So what we're going to do is we're going to essentially fight a proxy war. We're not actually going to go out there and fight anybody. We're just going to give these people money that are going to say not so nice things and hope bad things happen to these people. Who am I talking about? I don't know. I don't know. Which way is it going? It seems to be a cycle there. How do we address this? Like Sam Harris says, just update the incentive structure. What if the incentive was you're going to actually have people tell the truth? Why do you want them to tell the truth? Well, it's the truth. Number one. It's not always easy. Sometimes we got to do what's hard. Just because that's the only way we can level up. We can do this. We just have to have the will. We just have to be able and committed to do it. I know I've been slacking off. I'm going to try to get it myself, but all I'm saying is when you see people that might be quote unquote shilling, pandering, or anything, a lot of it also makes sense. Not everyone's had it nearly. I've been incredibly blessed in my life. And I can understand that. And a lot of folks, the thing is, people can also kind of sense desperation, and it turns people off. It's kind of like if you see an animal, it can be kind of sick. Other folks kind of stay away from that animal, or at least other animals do at times. And that's unfortunate because I think that's the difference between us and animals. We are of animals. But at least with this past year, we chose humanity over what may have been more easy. Maybe financially. That's the thing. That's the thing. We chose to protect humanity. If we're going to do that, we need to commit. Just get it done right. Believe in us. We can set up a better system. That's also why I'm a proponent of bringing back dueling. Because it's like, all right, if all these folks want to fight proxy wars, just take away the money aspect. If you truly wanted to get it done, if you're that committed, you must be a true believer. And true believers are willing to put their life on the line. They're willing to have skin in the game. And I feel like that's a neutralizing factor to the financial memetic tensor. It strengthens the honor tensor. I realize I still owe everybody a video, but these things happen. So thank you all for watching. Peace out, everybody. Be safe. Contemplate the universe. If the weather's getting nice, hug a tree. Be safe, everybody. Peace out. Take care.